Yeah, people, we're here to run it up. You know, if we just saw that game, we all saw that game, man. Inter Milan, you know, the so-called dark horses are out. Atletico are gone through. Yeah. Did everyone see people celebrating a penalty shootout in the 16th round? And everyone talking about, you know, Diego Simeone's passion and that. Ah, I wonder what that means for Arsenal fans then. Not allowed apparently, isn't it?
You know, the celebration police always come out in droves whenever Arsenal do anything, bro.
We're not allowed to celebrate, man. What do you mean celebration? For who? Why? When? Where? No. If we celebrate, we'll turn into a pillar of salt. So we're not allowed to celebrate, man. You know. Like.
Oh man, David Breffo, where is Daps? Where have you been? Clearly ain't been watching streams. I will not. It doesn't need to be repeated. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then I don't mind messaging you. I'll say it on stream, but most people know. Maybe someone in the comments can say it. But yeah, man, look, we're joined by a gal from Miguel Talks Football, Deo as well. You might have seen them on the football terrace. Yeah, and then we got Ryan, aka, well, he's not on camera yet. Here he is, aka, if people don't know, that's Rom's brother. Yes, that's how you know Rom supports Arsenal. But Ryan is an Arsenal fan. You might be seeing him more. Obviously, who cares about months? But yeah, man, let's. You know what? I was gonna die. We got Champions League. I'm not once swearing around me during Ramadan is not the one. Still, it's like you're being a bad influence. And you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Yeah, Ramadan Mubarak to my guys. I hope you had good iftar because I did. I swear, food is elite. But yeah, man, look, Champions League settings, Premier League settings, all of that. It's mainly an Arsenal type show. But did we all enjoy that Inter Milan game? Because I did. I was so thoroughly enjoyed that they went out.
You know what the crazy thing is? It's been since 2016 since we last had a penalty shootout in a Champions League tie, and in the round of 16, in any tie, and we've now had two in quick succession. So it's entertainment at its best.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think that might be my favorite game all season. You know, that's like for once.
When you're not, I can say times when you're not the team that's in the penalty shootout, it's not as stressful.
Yeah, no. Like, yeah, very interesting when you're in Ramadan. Yeah, yes, we swear sometimes. I swear a lot, so it's you calm it down. I try not to, innit? Stop being judgmental, you weirdo. But anyways, yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, I know it, Ryan. Yeah, I support Man United, but I'm talking. I watch bare football, and that game I didn't see tactics. I didn't see system. I just saw formation and inshallah, basically. Let's see who can get pure crap housery out of one another, who can really get the goals. And then I saw Inter Milan score and then Atleti come back. I was so impressed. I'm going to be honest. The miss at the end. Don't forget, there was two misses at the end.
Lautaro's was worse. Lautaro's was as bad as Harry Kane's in the World Cup.
Tura missed a couple of chances tonight with Inter as well. Like that chance in the first half and then the one in the second half. Oh, he should have buried that for me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I've got a feeling though. Like I'm just wondering. When's the draw, by the way? It's
Friday. It's Friday.
Friday, yeah. Do you know what? Who do you lot want? I know once me and you, obviously, we can't choose, innit? But but you, man, you lot are still in it. By the way, all these three clearly Arsenal fans. But who do you actually want next round? Be honest. Do you want the easy run? Or you're on mute, by the way, Mons. Or do you want the harder, like the hardest kind of runs?
I'd love Atletico to win this, I'll be honest, but I don't know. I think they're underdogs. I think Atletico are better than Inter. I'm like, nah, Inter are top 3 teams. Inter are there with Arsenal.
Barcelona, and Spain, and tapas, and sangria.
There you go. There's Dabs for you people.
Dabs, we miss you, man. How you doing?
He can't hear you, by the way.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
he's gone to watch this program.
I tried to avoid me start earlier pre-stream, innit? As I said, I told you, man, about Inter Milan. So remember, we speaking about Inter Milan. I'm like, nah, Inter Milan are hard. They're hard.
Inter Milan are having a good season though in their league. They're gonna win the league.
I've seen Chelsea finish 6th and win the champs. Fuck the league. It's a cup competition.
Champions League's a different animal to Premier League, man. I always tell this to most of my guys, man. Like, you can't compare the Champions League to Premier League because your league form doesn't always suggest what you're going to do in Europe, man.
It doesn't translate, man. It's a cup competition. It's knockout. Once you're in this stage, it's knockout. Look, I'd rather go into the Champions League not trying to play any tactic, play a low block, counter, score a goal, and park the bus and win. Go to the next round. This is not where you want to try and show your skill set. You have 3 more games coming down the line for you to get 3 points. No, this is not where you do that. This is where you literally you go in there, you score your goal, you park your bus, you play dirty, get a penalty if you can, get as many, rough them behind. If it's a throw and you're near the coach, shove their coach. Let the players get mad at you. Let them come tackle you. Get somebody sent off. That's how you win these knockout competitions, man. All these tactics that people keep going in there with. Yep, I don't know, man. You just have to be rough with it.
Oh, that's what she said. But sorry, I shouldn't say that. I don't know why I do this to myself. Anyways, not the point. But yeah, no, I agree. But who do you want? Who do you want next?
Who do I want next?
You do want next. Be honest. So Daps wants to go to Spain. He's a Man City fan. If you don't know, Daps is who you just saw. If you don't know him, he's a man. He wants to go to Spain because he wants a good away day. Last time I checked, you wanted Bayern Munich, innit?
Bro, I still would play Bayern 100%. Because those guys did us over a couple years ago. And Barcelona, personally, I'm looking for revenge. Either Barcelona or Bayern Munich, I think we're a better side than either one of them. So if we played them over 2 legs, I wouldn't mind. But if you want an easy tie, the easiest tie out there would probably have to be
Dortmund.
Either not even Dortmund, PSG. They have no structure.
Nah, Dortmund would be an easier tie over PSG over 2 legs ago. I think PSG.
PSG have no structure, bro.
PSG, you know why I think PSG will be a hard game over 2 legs with Arsenal, because I know they haven't got the European heritage of what a Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or even you could say anyone else of who else is good? You could say a Inter Milan, but the thing is with them, because they got Kylian Mbappe, he's the best player in the world right now, and thing is they would know how to navigate Arsenal. I just feel like
they've got Kylian Mbappe. You're right, but Saliba played in the French league a couple of years ago, and he locked up Kylian Mbappe and did a job on him. Then
Transabi also did that too.
So did Amrabat.
Yeah, exactly. So
the question is, would you rather play the physicality of the French league versus PSG, or would you rather play the open football in Germany? Because both Dortmund and Bayern, they play crazy football. It's always
bro, you smash PSG, man. Let's not act like PSG or anything great. Have you not seen them?
I think we'd beat them as well.
I don't want Atletico Madrid. I don't want Manchester City, and I don't want Real Madrid. Those are the 3 teams I don't want. Because Atletico Madrid, they're not going to play football. Man City, they currently are the Champions League winners, and it would be a tough tie to face them this early. And Real Madrid, you know what? We have a good history versus Real Madrid, but their heritage in the Champions League,
it's it's big, man.
Yeah, Real Madrid. I don't want Real Madrid. City and Real Madrid are the 2 teams that, for me, Arsenal need to avoid.
But Heritage got knocked out tonight. For me. Heritage got knocked out tonight. So what now?
Yeah, I think Bayern and Barca.
Penalties,
for me,
anything can happen.
The only reason I'm going Bayern and Barca is revenge. Of course, they're big teams as well, and they've got European heritage, mad one, But both of them have done us over in the past, and I feel like, for me, if we go up against them and we remind the boys, look, in 2006 we could have won this. These were the guys who stopped us. We literally, for me, it's just vengeance. That's the only reason I want one of those 2. But if you're talking the easy run, PSG. I think we can handle PSG. I think Saliba and Gabriel can lock up Mbappe. And once Mbappe is locked up, the rest of them.
Ben White got a new contract. Can he not do it by himself now?
Why would you do that to Ben White? Listen, Linda, listen.
You're shameless, Kaz.
We have to be smart. Yes, we hold a grudge. I hold a grudge, man. From 2006, I'm holding that grudge against Barcelona.
Listen, the best team to humiliate would actually be Barcelona, because this Barcelona team is not that good. They won the league last year, but they're not that good. They get smashed week in, week out by Spanish sides. If we played this Barcelona team, I think that's another team that we could take advantage of.
Have we not learned anything about to separate league form away from?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm
Champions
thinking
League
in my
form?
head right now. You see,
If I pick, they'll call me a salty Liverpool fan who's not in the champs. So let me just sit back.
No, but the thing is, once you can though, because you've been there, you've done that. Like you have input. It's not like we have a Tottenham fan and they're trying to tell us how to like be there and do it and all that. Like last season, you have Inter Milan who didn't have a good season in their own league, and yet they went to the final, looked very good in the Champions League, and it was sturdy, they was steady. You know what I mean? Like Porto as well. Like Porto gave them a great game. I remember that was one of the deadest games I've ever seen. By the way,
like if it comes to, we're talking Premier League, Arsenal are scintillating. You know, as I said, I think they win at the Emirates. They don't lose a game for the rest of the season. In my opinion, it doesn't even matter who they face.
That's a big statement. Once you think we
Arsenal,
got
3 points.
Maybe that's my PTSD. I think you know what.
12 out of 12. 12 out of 12.
You know, all right, fair enough. I hear that's your point.
6 games. How many? I was 6 games. Yeah,
10 games. Yeah, but you know, I just looking at all the draws tonight and like the quarterfinals, I think if my worst fear would be getting at Atletico Madrid, because I just think those elite level low block teams. I look at what Porto did to us over the 2 legs. Like, don't get me wrong, I was satisfied last night when Arsenal went through, but I wasn't happy because for us to go life and death with Porto, for me, last night's result for Arsenal, yes, I know we won on penalties, but it's worrying that we had to go all the way to penalties and that we couldn't beat them in 90 minutes. And I think against a better rigid team, man, I look at Diego Simeone, the way how he would set up against Arteta, he knows that we're going to keep the ball much better than them. He will know that not many teams want to go toe-to-toe with Arsenal right now, so he will look at it from a like formation type of view. We got it like when we played them in the Europa League, like I think 5 or 6 seasons ago, they went 1-0 up and then they just shut up shop, man. And that's my only fear.
But you know what it is though? Do you know what it is though? Like, this is what I say. I like to separate the league form, because I look at everyone seems to want to cross Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I think there's nothing worse, and I'm speaking from experience in the Champions League. There's nothing worse than facing a top team who has nothing else to play for, bro.
To lose, 100%.
That is, bro. Bayern Munich aren't great in it. There's holes in their team. I think their midfield could be a bit leggy. I think the attack's hot and cold, despite the brilliance of Harry Kane, Musiala, all those guys. But unfortunately, they're not winning the Bundesliga.
They will rise if they play us, man.
So guess where the eggs are going? Because they're not tapped the cup. They're going to tap the cup by the third division side. So guess where the eggs are going? In the Champions League. Barcelona are they're not even in the top 2 of the La Liga. So where are their eggs going? Men are talking about do it for Klopp and all that stuff. You think them man not screaming, do it for Xavi? Do it, maybe not do it for Tuchel. Maybe not do it for Tuchel.
A bit pushing it though.
Yeah. I'm pushing this to do it for Tuchel, but Harry Kane has to go win a trophy, bro. And he will do what he needs to do to try and get there.
And he would want to dunk on Arsenal as well.
I still think man can dunk on Barca personally. I think you lot can dunk on Barca, but I'm saying that Barcelona, Bayern Munich, you'd probably want to play them while they're top of their respective leagues, because then they have to kind of split up what they're doing. They don't know who they're going to bench, who they're going to play. But for me, most teams you probably don't want to get. Like, the teams that are left, the Deadwood are gone. You know what I'm saying? The PSVs, no disrespect, the Portos are done. And let's be honest, Porto didn't really sit back against you lot last game. The possession was nearly the same. You had a few more shots than them. You controlled the game.
Porto didn't want to play football.
But I also want to say this about Porto.
Hold on, let me land.
Okay, go on.
They didn't press you, but you guys weren't in full control of that game the way you were in the first leg. I feel like he was a little bit better at the drag out in terms of keeping the ball. This game was a dogfight. And the fact that the game at the Emirates was a dogfight is worrying, that you allow.
Worrying. You know what? I agree with you, Monks, man.
But you have to look at context here. Let me look at this Porto team, right? In the last 6 years, look at this Porto team. Every team that made it to the final, that beat them, like I put up right now, listen to this, all beat them except Liverpool by 5-0. Everybody was 1-0, 2-1, rough. It was rough for everybody for the last 6 years. So this Porto team is known for being this type of team. You go back and look at all their games, even in their league. They're known for this. They don't look and listen, and they don't respect anybody at your home, at their home. That's how they play. And I'm talking the last 6 years. So we're looking at this. This is a Porto team that has 2 Champions Leagues. They have Champions League heritage. They've been there. They've done it. This is a Porto club that literally understand. In fact, the crazy part about this is the Arsenal team, what we did yesterday, honestly, I would have preferred for us to win in 90 minutes, but we did not. Okay, great. We didn't win in 90 minutes. But I'm glad that even when it went down to the tail end of it, we were prepared for everything.
Yeah.
Because football is won in moments, man. You can win it in the first 45, second 45, first 15 of
When
extra,
you say we're
extra
prepared, what do
penalty.
you mean by that?
I'm
Because
saying I'm sure we trained for everything, because I noticed something that happened as soon as the extra time was over. David Raya ran straight to Carl Hein, who gave him something, and the goalkeeper coach had the iPad and was pointing out players to him immediately to David Raya, which means that they probably weren't prepared for that because they never knew what was going to happen. So I'm like, any team that prepared, because you know the teams you're coming up against. Porto is no easy meat.
No,
easy meat.
It's the championship. It's a Champions League. So obviously teams aren't going to be quote unquote easy. But when we went through, when you lot done the draw, when the draw was done for the knockout stages, was anyone disappointed that they got
everyone was saying 3 and 4-0 to me, man. Everyone was saying like
you were gassed.
I can't like I was in that boat.
I'm not gonna lie, I was
in
not
that boat.
gassed. I didn't want Porto.
Of course, we'll banter. If you give us Porto, we'll banter. But that's because people listen. But Month,
you have to
realize that most of these people who are bantering Porto don't even know the Porto heritage. I did my research on Porto immediately. We got paired with Porto, and I looked back at that. No. Listen, what I'm saying is, as soon as we were drawn with Porto, I went back. I looked at their history for the last 7 years in the Champions League. I looked at what they've done, who they've played, how they've played them. I looked for clips. I checked on stuff, and I was like, these guys are annoying to play. They are annoying to play, and that's been their thing. Like, that's been their thing. So people who banter on just because the Porto is in Portugal, like, oh, Portuguese league is not. That's why they started saying all that. If you really go back and look at some of the teams who have suffered in the Champions League, the big teams, Porto was the one that made them. They got through it. They got to the round of 8, but Porto was that team that could literally have destroyed them.
Sounds like copium to me.
It's not copium. I'm just telling you, man. I mean,
it is, but you're trying to make.
But the data is there, though.
They are.
You don't even have to go there.
I just say this. That was telling me, bring me Madrid and them man there.
I just pulled it out.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie. I never said Madrid.
So who did you say? So you said you didn't want the stronger teams. You said you didn't want.
Yeah, I said I wanted Bayern Munich, Barcelona.
Sorry, not Real Madrid. Sorry.
One second. When it comes to Porto, I don't care that we won on extra time, that we won on penalties, that we win by our own goal that gets us the win, a deflected goal. Who cares? As long as you get through to the next tie, it's a whole new ball game.
You're right. You're right there. You know what, Ryan? Before I let you land, let me just do this a little. By the way, guys, there's like nearly 500 of you here. That's kind of sick at this time, and I can't even lie. But please smash the like button. Just a little reminder. Again, I don't ask people. I say this every stream. I don't do this very often as I used to, because I can't be asked. And to be fair, if you're gonna naturally like a stream, you naturally like a stream. If you're gonna support, you're naturally gonna support. So, but it's just a quick reminder, as well. If you don't mind, just taking 2 seconds of your time as I'm speaking and talking this waffle. You go and do that, man. As Mont say, if you're in dark mode and it looks like me, you've done your job. If not, it looks like Mont's, then you've done your job. If it's in obviously daytime mode. But yeah, man, big up yourselves. But yeah, go on, man. Where's you gonna land?
No, I was just gonna say, touching on a gal's point, the only thing I would say, as much as I mean, I think Arsenal could beat Arsenal. I think Arsenal could beat not Real Madrid, Barcelona or Bayern Munich over 2 legs.
Your head's fried, bro.
At one of those ones, I was just thinking, how can I put it? As much as I'd back Arsenal to beat those 2 teams over 2 legs, because of our European pedigree over the last few years, it just even being in Europa League as well, I still wouldn't be confident of beating Bayern Munich or Barca over 2 legs, because I just think experience and heritage plays a long way in this competition. And domestically in the Premier League, I think we've got more chance of winning the Premier League than the Champions League this season. And I'm not saying we haven't got a chance of winning the Champions League, but obviously it's my first time coming on here, but Roms will tell you I've been Arteta out for the last 2 to 3 seasons, man. And I'm only on the fence now because
I can tell you that. I remember you talking to me about it.
I spoke to you on Saturday ago anyway, and it's one of those ones where I think to myself, if we can get over the line and just win one of those trophies, then we've got a chance. But for me, if we don't win anything and we potentially don't win nothing this season, and it's another season that goes by, what's the energy gonna be like for you guys?
So Ryan, let me ask you this, right? How do you get experience and heritage in a knockout competition if you don't go all the way? bottom line is this: the only way you're going to ever have any heritage is to go in and win it. And so here's how I see it. I know these teams are better than us. I know they have the heritage advantage when you face them. I know that if you go to their stadium, it's going to be crazy. When they come to the Emirates, we're going to have to do the best we can because we have not been there before. But the point is, the only time you're ever going to be classified as one of the people who has been there is to kill the Giants. So we might as well go in with chest, right? Because what are we saying? Like, oh, give me somebody who's going to knock me out. The next year, we don't have heritage. Every year, we're going to keep making that same excuse.
Bro,
so
these Giants are not that. These Giants are not that big.
I know.
These Giants are walking around with broken legs.
And Igal, and even if they're big and fortified, all I'm saying is, for you to be counted among the greats, you have to massacre one of the greats. It's that simple. It's
eventually
you're going to have to do it eventually. Whether you do it now,
our own history. I hear that.
Yeah, you have to do it now, or you're going to do it years down the line. We have to come to accept that fact. The only reason why now that Arsenal has been playing well in the last 2 seasons and challenging for the title, where people are like obviously still trying to banter Arsenal, but know that it's a real threat, is because Arsenal has done it before in the past. It's been years ago, but it's been done before. We've never done it in the Champions League. And until we do it, right, we're going to keep making up this, we don't have the pedigree. That should never be our excuse anymore. Look, whoever we face...
You can't ignore that, though, Deo.
I know. I'm not ignoring that.
You'll send Chelsea fans flying if you win the Champions League, by the way. My head will go as well, to be fair.
I'll give you an example. Before Chelsea won the Champions League, did they have any Champions League pedigree? In court? No.
I hear that you have to earn it, but my thing is with Arsenal is that because we always get to a certain stage where we think we're guaranteed to win something, and it's just not how football works. Like, you have to earn your right to be in the Champions League, and yes, we've done that. But for me, Arteta, no matter who we get in the quarterfinal draw on Friday, we have to try and get over the line with whoever we play. Like, it being Man City or Real Madrid, all right. If we were to get knocked out of that round, then I can look at it and think, fair enough. But if we were to play like an Atletico or Bayern or Barca, we have to try and go tooth and nail and try and knock them out, man, because you're only going to get better in the Champions League the further you progress in each and every year you're in it. So, yeah. True. I mean, I agree with you. We were there for a long time till we made the finals and never won it in 2006. Of course, we had been there before that and we never won it. And as soon as we dropped out of the Champions League, I know, but like as soon as we dropped out of it, we lost all that pedigree. If we had probably stayed in it, if we were able to kind of, stir the storm and just stay in every year, make top 4, make Champions League, maybe that experience would have, by now. I'm saying we haven't been in the Champions League for 7 years.
No, but before that 7-year stretch, after the final, you were still top 4. Like
that's what I'm saying. That after the final loss, it shattered everything we had built. So from 2000. 2001, 2000, hear me out. We had the invincible season, we had these players, and then we made it to the Champions League final in 2006. We just barely came out of the invincible season 3 years before. We were like, oh man, now 2006 when the UCL final, we should be able to win it. As soon as we lost that, all that pedigree we had built to get to 2006 shattered.
Why?
Even though because it became harder. Look at how hard it became for us. We were getting knocked out in the second round all the time, getting knocked out in the quarterfinal.
Listen, and I hear what you're saying.
And if that mentality block,
the Giants became better. So is it the Spanish teams that were
the Giants became
they stayed at the top of their game. Whereas of course Arsenal again, and I think that's more to do with Arsenal and the back.
That's what I'm saying.
By the way. I think that's more of a lack of that was your board, isn't it?
That was our issue. That's what I think. That was our issue.
But I don't think losing in the final shatters your heritage. I feel like you was in the Champions League enough to maintain Champions League experience. And I feel like you was unlucky with a lot of your draws. I think you did run in, apart from some years where you had, the year where you got Monaco and that, you went out to Monaco. I feel like there was a lot of years where you did unfortunately draw Bayern Munich. You drew a prime Barca. You drew some of these guys where it was just like,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? It's a big ask for you to get past them in 2 legs. But you have to look at, as I said, I don't like to use Chelsea as an example. I don't like to use Man City too much because I feel like with City, they're the only exception to quality succeeding.
But remember how long it took City to go and win it. Look how long it took Man City to win it. Even Chelsea once. Look how long it took them a decade to go and win it. Really and truly, they were in the Champions League here and there, but not really. But even after the takeover of Ranieri, that era.
Even when City went out in the semis, went out in the final. Sorry, went out in the final, went out in the semis, and then eventually won it. Like after their cup final loss, they didn't shatter their heritage. After our cup final loss, even though Liverpool have 5. Does anyone really want to know the gap between our Champions League in the 80s and then from 2005? It's a big gap. It's a big gap.
The thing is as well, what people don't take into consideration with the Champions League, you almost have to lose your first one in order to go on to feel that failure of it, to then go and win it. Not saying Arsenal are going to win it this season, because I don't think we're going to win the Champions League.
But if we get to Wembley,
but if we were to get to the final, we don't normally lose on Wembley territory, innit? But I think we're capable of getting. Well, we're obviously you've made it to the quarters now. The furthest I think we can go is to the semis. But at the same time, I look at the draw with Bayern, Barca, Real, Atletico. Not many teams are going to want to play us over 2 legs. The way we're setting up.
Something? The most important thing is how the draw is set up. Because if the draw is set up where we have whoever we have, we end up facing the winner of like a City Real Madrid tie, then we're kind of in a tough situation.
Can't lie, Ryan. This ain't no FA Cup. This is what I said when we played the best Barcelona in the world. We don't lose at Wembley. We don't lose at Wembley. I remember this.
Like, but you want City and Real Madrid on the other side of the bracket. That's what I'm saying.
I think you lot should want City because that's where the least amount of heritage is needed. You can almost treat that like
I agree with that.
You could almost treat that like a Prem game and go, because me, in my opinion, Arsenal are better than City right now, and I'm keeping it buck, bro. Head to head
right now. We're the best team in the league on current form right now.
Yeah, on current form. Not City are the best team in the league.
Overall, they're better than us. Yeah.
But on current form, I look at City, bro, and especially after what I done to them at Anfield, I look at these man, and I think they are queffable, bro. They are queffable. I look at that game and go, that is a game where Arsenal. I'm not saying they're gonna beat City over 2 legs because it's like they are the holders, they're the treble winners. But like, bro, these men were calling themselves underdogs as treble winners going to Anfield. They're trying to do the underdog thing as a treble winning team. The over the top ball has been fucking them up all season. It's the game where the least heritage is needed.
It's really just Hamza.
So I think you lot should go if you want in Manchester City.
Yeah, you know what? Let me. If I had 2 pence, I was going to
Dortmund.
Ryan, you're like, you know what? Similar to Rob, I'm going to catch you out a little bit. You kind of contradicted yourself. You said we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves. But then you said, but when we go to Wembley, we don't really lose on that turf.
I'm saying if we were to make that. Go on.
Let me finish. You're kind of contradictive a little bit. It means, so if you go Wembley, you must. That's already pressure you're putting on yourself, which is fair because you're. Yeah, I'm just trying to say. I said this. I had to go back to secondary school. Say we don't lose at England. We win at Wembley. Guess what? I got pammed. I went into. I'm not even that game made me cry. Like I cried after that. I was in tears. But is what, bro. I'm just saying, innit? No. Is mad. You know what? That's why I got the like, do they, as in Arsenal, have the mentality to dig in? This is coming from Daps, and it's weird, because I'm obviously on the Arsenal positive train, and I think rightfully so. But you lot wouldn't believe this. Daps is also on the Arsenal positivity train as well, because he's like, you know what? I can't hate. Even online, Daps is calling out things online, bro. This is a Man City fan that despises Arsenal fans. So even he's there and saying, like, I don't understand this hate for Arsenal. It makes no sense. We both said yesterday, Arsenal yesterday done something I haven't seen in years. Something that I remember Samir Nasri coming out, quoting after a game, and I think you drew or something like that, and he said, we need to learn to win ugly. Yesterday, I saw a team of Arsenal winning ugly in the Champions League, which is needed. That's my 2 pence. I don't know if you lot agree or disagree. Hi, Hamza.
It was a 50-50 game, bro. The reality,
that's what I'm trying to get in between it.
Heritage.
I was gonna say, where'd your hair go? The hell?
No, this is Hamza now. You know, this is Hamza. This is Hamza all the time. This is his thing. So I
mean, you're not far off. He did wear the Arsenal top once upon a time in the photos, isn't it?
I believe that guy. That he supports Arsenal. Listen, I don't believe it.
I don't know about you guys.
I love Hamza, man. I spoke to him on the phone earlier as well.
Yesterday, going into penalties, it was a 50-50 game, and I was prepared for both outcomes. Raya basically stood up tall, and that's where we got to say, you know what? People need to start looking at Raya, saying, "Yo, he's a top keeper. Start putting respect on his name." Because I feel like the way he gets spoken about is like, oh, him and Ramsey were the Chuckle brothers at the beginning of the season. The way people were talking about them.
Mm.
I can't.
But now,
lie.
he's sitting
but he
here.
had to earn. Igal, he had to earn that
But now-
respect is
But now
earned.
he's earned it.
So,
He has the
yeah,
most
that's
clean
it.
sheets in the Champions League, most clean sheets in the Premier League, least goals conceded in the Champions League, least goals conceded in the Premier League, and he's played in all those games pretty much, besides like a couple. So
No, I hear you. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had to earn it. So we couldn't at the beginning of the season. Of course, people were going to say what they had to say. He had to show that he was, based on all the drama around it with him and Ramsdale. You have to be realistic. Like they just have to prove it. Like I'm saying, the drama from the press and pundits all saying, "Oh, you can't have two top keepers in the same team. It's going to be a problem." And then Ramsdale is unhappy, and Ramsdale's father is talking, and all that nonsense.
But Deo, you know what Arsenal social media and PR teams like? They'll spin any narrative just to make Arsenal look like what we're doing is anything massively different to any other football club. For me, Ramsdale's the nail in the coffin was Saturday. When I went to the game on Saturday, I said to myself, I couldn't believe that we went into the break 1-1. And me looking at Raya's performance last night against Porto, I kind of look at it and I just think to myself, he's a better shot stopper than Ramsdale, and he knows how to distribute the ball better. But for me, I just think he's shown, and Arteta making that decision on Raya, is kind of.
Surely you got to give Ramsdale a bit of leeway. That's his first game.
Ramsdale's had his first game back, but for me, with Arsenal, one thing I'll say to you, Kaz, though, even though he did redeem himself in that Brentford game, you know what football fans are like. We're so reactionary at times. Most of the Arsenal fans coming out of the ground weren't thinking about the two spectacular saves that he made in the second half. You think, oh, that's the goal you conceded, man.
But you want to know something?
It's crazy. Goalkeepers always get scrutinized more for the negative things that they do rather than the positive things. And
see, look, here's the thing. Ryan. Here's the thing. I think we need to give Ramsdale his flowers for what he's done for us. He brought us back to he brought us back to the Champions League, and Arteta looked at it and said, "I need to step up. I need something different. The way I want to play this season."
They are also playing 4 goalkeepers of last season.
Yeah. And as a coach, he said, and last season he won what's it called? The goalkeeper
won the goalkeeper award,
award. So he did something right last season. This season, Arteta is like, I want to play a different style of football. I need a different type of goalkeeper. I'm looking at a different type of strategy. And if I have to wait for you to learn that new strategy, I might be halfway through the season. So I'm bringing somebody that can do it right now. Of course, that threw a lot of spanner in the works. People say, why is Ramsdale bad? Now, any mistake Ramsdale makes will be magnified because of that incident as well. So you have to realize that Ramsdale is still a good goalkeeper, but just not the goalkeeper that Arteta needed at this time. But then talking about the Porto game, Talking about the Porto game, like I said earlier today, I was saying, look, a game can be won in 45 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, or penalties. As a team, you should be prepared for every single one of that in a knockout tournament. You need to train for every single aspect of it, because you might get there and the other team, no matter how big they are, the giant, might not just turn up. They just might, something could make them not turn up. And you might get the chance to take them to penalties where they're unable to kill you and you know that you're better in penalties. Or you are able to turn up against a very good team and not allow them score throughout the entire thing. And you know that if we get to penalties, you are able to at least do something. Now it's a case of we took Real Madrid to the wire type of thing. But we're not better than some of these teams right now, honestly, because of the pedigree that they have. But, 100%. But in a knockout competition, you just have to be ready for every single aspect.
One second. We are better than certain teams, though.
I said based on pedigree, just based on the pedigree they have.
Don't have pedigree, for example. Atletico Madrid, really? They never won.
In the Champions League,
they are talking about collectively of what other teams' pedigree and heritage have, though. He's not talking about
what they have.
Dortmund and the teams that don't have like any European heritage. It's like, for example,
Dortmund won it back in what, 96? I mean, they got a little sign in there, no?
I
know, but it's not as recent as like other European teams.
Yeah, but
I know they've got something.
When was Inter's last UCL?
2010, I think it was 11. 11
yeah,
season.
12 years ago. Man, were trying to tell me about Inter's heritage from then. So like, I think heritage.
So if you want to give heritage, PSG have heritage because they won it once. Have PSG ever won it?
No.
PSG don't have no heritage.
And they always go out.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing about it, Igal. PSG has never won it, but they've been there and gotten close to it. And here's the thing: they keep telling themselves, like, now that we're there again, we can do it again this year. We're just coming back. Is what I mean by our heritage. Understand what I mean by the heritage? I'm just saying we've had a gap, right? I'll give you an example. I did judo. When I got injured for 18 months and I could not fight, I couldn't go to any tournaments. I couldn't do anything. And I was healing. When I came back on the mat, right? In as much as I felt prepared, there was the PTSD of, look at what happened the last time when you broke your ankle and this and that. And I had to overcome all of that to actually get back on the mat, right? And keep fighting. And eventually I got over 2-3 tournaments, and the next tournament I did better. So my thing is, we are at the place where I'm happy where we're at. I'm glad we were able to make it this far. All we just need to do is whatever team we're playing next, Arteta can look at the boys and say, this is the weakness of that team. If we can exploit it and get our win, whether we get it dirty, whether we get it, whatever, just win.
Let me do a few of these super chats quick. Because I got actually a good question, to be fair. I think I do. Yeah. Dan Watson, big up yourself. I ain't seen you in a minute. I think actually you might be last stream, but big up for the super chat. It says you scraped past Porto over 180 minutes. And my man Gal's I thinking he's pumping Real Madrid and Atleti a leave off. He didn't say Madrid.
I never said that.
He did say he'd want to play like a Bayern at this moment of time or a PSG. In respect to what Gal said, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gal. Donny LFC.
I didn't say that, but 1 second. Who cares if we win on 120 minutes, if we win on 90 minutes, or if we win on penalties? The thing is, you need to get through. Who cares how you get through? We don't remember how Real Madrid won their last one. They literally scraped it every single time.
Gal, I disagree with you a little bit there, but no, continue.
Yeah. Donny says, I would like to see. Well, I'd like to see Arsenal go far, but the struggle, and this is a Liverpool fan, by the way, but the struggle away from home, having only beat West Ham away from home in the top 12 in Premier League, and we're beat by Porto away. It's just, basically he's kind of criticizing your away form when it comes to top sides. Basically, he or she. I don't know, Donny. Yeah, he or she. My bad.
The thing is, we haven't really played too many top sides in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like we played Liverpool. We haven't played Man City. We went to Chelsea away. We drew. We haven't played Tottenham, and we haven't played Manchester United. So technically, is he talking about the Aston Villas, the Newcastles, where I felt like those were games?
That proves his point even more.
I know, but that's what we're saying though. We haven't played the Man.
You could literally do that for anybody. You could point out.
No. He's saying your away record against the top sides hasn't been great, but you're telling me you haven't actually played. You haven't played United, Tottenham.
We haven't played them at their home. We haven't played them away, though.
So that means the rest of the games you played away against maybe 7th, 8th, 9th, 6th, and 5th, you still haven't.
No. Bayern West Ham. No. Bayern West Ham away. Every other person away, we have got our points against them. The top teams we haven't played yet.
You didn't beat Chelsea, even though.
No, you didn't beat Chelsea. You didn't beat Chelsea.
We drew with Chelsea. Yeah,
we lost to Villa, Newcastle.
Chelsea are 11th. They stink.
Yeah, we lost to Villa.
No, but you know what? I could
Villa, fair enough. Villa were in very good form at that time.
I could flip it and say we have the most points in the same breath where you could say we haven't gotten as many good performances.
We agreed on earlier,
I could flip it and say we've got the most points out of the 3 teams in the title race against 100%. The traditional top 6. So then what? It's we're
talking about your away form. We're not talking about your away form.
Did we not agree as a panel to say that Premier League form and Champions League form is different?
Yeah.
But they brought it up.
In a way, I don't think it really matters. Did we not just go have like a whole 10 minutes of talking about it? Doesn't matter how you play or how you do it, just get the job done. You just said
no. You're taking it literally. We said no. Ryan as well. He specifically said it doesn't always translate. That doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It doesn't always translate.
I mean, I've seen people.
It has an influence.
It doesn't always translate. Sometimes it can translate because all I hear from the Arsenal community is that Porto have conceded 17 goals. Their last 6 games, they've been really good. And that's all I hear is league talk. That's all I hear.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it has some
but
relevance.
when
It
they
has
drew Porto, it was party. It was
relevance,
party time when they drew Porto. It was party time.
Of course, it has some relevance,
Listen,
but as a
we
whole,
haven't been in the Champions League for a while.
I've seen hella teams scam their way through the rounds before. Then you're like, how's that working out?
Yeah, bro.
After the
Like
years?
Inter Milan, I don't tell people Inter Milan are a good team, but they're not as good as you lot make them out to be. They played, I believe, Sporting, Benfica, AC Milan, and then City in the final. That run stinks.
Yeah.
You know what, guys?
Here's one
Go
for you,
on.
Monts, by the way. Okay, bet once win the league, then innit? Something that you said earlier.
All right.
Liverpool have the easiest run.
Stop letting that. Stop being affected by Route 1 football. Don't blame me.
Liverpool have the easiest run.
All right, let me ask you this, yeah. Then this is an important question because is heritage when it comes to the Champions League right now, if the heritage is past, let's say a good 10 to 15 year span, does it really matter anymore? Does it really correspond? So does heritage really matter if it's gone beyond a certain period? Like let's be honest. Dortmund, 96. Bro, their heritage ain't carried.
Yeah, I think we'll beat Dortmund over
heritage is more about the team's mentality and mental strength.
Yeah, but this heritage typically is something that can be passed through a generation.
I think this Arsenal team is a lot more mentally stronger than some of the teams that we had in the past. Some of them in the past probably thought about what happened in the past and looked at that and were kind of worried about that. This team, I feel like they're like, yo, we're trying to create our own legacy. They don't really give a shit about what's going on in the past. From jump, they thought. I've been hearing guys say, yo, we know how Arsenal were. We're trying to change that. Zinchenko coming in. We're not looking for top four. We're looking to challenge for the league. You got people coming in now saying, you know what? We're not looking to at what we were. We're looking at where we can be. So it's like this whole thing about heritage. I think we're now confusing heritage with experience. When you face a team that has a lot of heritage and experience within the side, like a Real Madrid, that is massive. But when you face a Dortmund, I really don't think heritage applies when you play a team like Dortmund, who's very young. A lot of those players weren't even a part of any of those successful sides. Where does heritage come into play when you're talking about a team that hasn't won anything?
Like let me just to buttress some of your points and Kaz, like what me, what I see the heritage thing as is, for example, you join a club, you're walking down in the stadium, you look in the cabinet, you see a Champions League. As a new young player, you're like, I want to win one of those for this club. But our players don't have anything to look at there and say that, so they have to create their own heritage. We literally have to create our own. Like if we look at our cabinet, we can see an EPL trophy and say, you know what, hey, we need to go back. Dustin, we need to go back and win another one of these because we can say we've had one of these. But now, if it's Champions League, they're like, we don't even have it. We need to create our own heritage, which is why I said right now with Arsenal, what it is we just need whatever team we draw. Honestly, there's a lot of teams out there that can take us to the wire and destroy us in the knockout tournament right now. In the round of 8, it's anybody's game. But
you know
what we need to do is whoever we draw against. However, we're going to win. If we want to play dirty like Porto and keep fouling and stopping and starting the game, do it. If you want to run in the box and get a penalty, get it. Whatever you need to do to win, because it's a knockout tournament. This is not where you want to come and start trying to, because when you get that first one, then you have created a foundation for that heritage. For the future players who come in and say, hey, look, we just have one. We need to get another. We need to get another. So we need to get the first one. So that's the drive that they need to go with. However they want to win, they should do it. I don't care if it's to penalties. I don't care if it's referee that gives a foul that was not a foul. I don't care if the referee gives us a penalty that we didn't deserve. I'll take that way.
That way doesn't suit Arsenal though. That's not Arsenal.
Listen, I understand.
I know you got to do whatever you can to win and get over the line. But you got to think, if we was to come up against a City or Real Madrid, part of me is caught in two different ways. Because do we play our football in the way that we know is suited to Arsenal? Or away from home, I'd understand if Arteta set up a bit more pragmatic and try to be a bit more defensively resolute, because you're coming up against players that love to be on this stage and that know what it takes to get over the line in whether it's a quarterfinal stage or semi-final. So Arsenal trying to get into that sort of rhythm. If let's say, for example, we draw Real Madrid on Friday. I'm praying that the second leg's at the Emirates. Not that, and a lot of people say, does it really matter whether first leg's at the Emirates or second leg's at the Bernabeu? For me, I'd rather first leg be at the Bernabeu, because a lot of our players wouldn't be used to playing on that sort of stage, because We've not been in the
Ri-
Champions League for that long.
That's what I'm saying, Ryan.
Oh.
Like, we're not. Listen, we've not been there. We haven't
Yeah.
done it before. So now that we're there, do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
I think you're missing my point. My point is, look, you need to go in there with the mentality that whether you win ugly or you win beautiful or you win pragmatically or you set up right or you set up wrong, my thing is score the goal, lock up shop, do whatever it takes. Like at this point, it's a knockout tournament. The league is totally different. With the league, I know that I have to manage my players. I don't want too many injuries. I need to win a game. The teams I can kill, I kill them off. The teams I need to slow down on, I slow down on them. In a knockout tournament, look, some teams are looking at us and saying, if we draw Arsenal, we're through to the semi. So they've already overlooked us, right? They've already overlooked us.
I'm going to be honest.
So
I don't think you beat Bayern. I'm going to be totally honest. I think once you go to the Allianz, I think you're done personally. In it, I wouldn't be too confident. Tommy Tuchel in a cup competition, I'm not going to write him off too much, and they're coming into some decent form. But if you can get yourselves realistically a Dortmund, a PSG, or a Barcelona, you've got an alright away day. Other than Germany, I would say. I think even Paris, it might be a little bit hectic. But other than that, you get yourself into a semi-final. You can carry that on to next year, and I think that's okay. You definitely smash a Dortmund, and you'd have a good game with PSG. I'm not going to even write off PSG.
Bro, you do realize
anybody else. I think even if you do, look, I think you need to realize as well, rather than getting ahead slyly, because everyone dare to dream, right? Tottenham's flipping took off Millwall anyways. But the whole point is like, even if you did go out in a quarterfinal, it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's a step. It's a step, isn't it? And then you go into your new league form, and then however 2, 3, 4. There's no. I wouldn't say that. I would say there's easy games. I think Dortmund's an easy game for you lot. I can't lie. Whoever gets Dortmund,
context matters, guys. Context matters. If there's a situation where we have Dortmund in this next round, and then the winner of Dortmund faces PSG and Bayern, I'll be fuming if we don't get to the next game, because I think if we get a good route to the final, this is the best opportunity to win is always the year that you're in. So if we get a good route to the final, I want to get as far as possible. None of this, I'll be happy with the quarterfinals. Going into the competition, I said semifinals is a successful season. If we get to the semifinals and we're touching distance to that final, you know what? When you get to that situation, you're gonna look back and you say, you know what, this is a missed opportunity. So I don't want to say it's a missed opportunity. I want to see how far we can get. And if we get an easy tie, then context matters. And we're gonna say, we should get through. Because if we lose to Dortmund,
one step at a time,
Dortmund that much better than Porto?
I think quarterfinal, like round of 16 is round of 16, but quarterfinals, this is when you can really start talking about mentality. I think Mons knows all about it. I think Daz can talk about it. I think that's when the pressure starts arising the most, and that's where PSG typically fail, man. Is that little part there, and then for whatever reasons, if you can get past the quarterfinals, no one's doubting you no more. You got to a semi-final, yes, credit. It's just been a long time since you've been in a semi-final, but then you could start looking at yourself and say, yeah, but we got to this semi-final regardless of what team there is. And no one can actually talk crap on you, really, because whoever you see in the semi-final is because whoever goes through deserves to win regardless. And it's not really if it's a high-scoring game or not. I don't know, man. I feel like Arsenal can hold their heads high, especially the way. And then obviously it depends on the Premier League. And then no one's going to talk nothing on you because
whoever we play, we need to play at home second leg. That would be massive.
Mbappe's nothing, man. Let's be honest. I've seen, bro.
Kaz, you need to stop man.
Doing all that, fam. Just because you employ Marcus Rashford, stop it, man.
Stop it.
Marcus Rashford's the Mbappe replacement, apparently.
Mbappe in this Paris Saint-Germain team right now is not carrying them to no final, let alone semi-final. Let's be real. They're getting knocked out.
You're dismissing Mbappe like he's Whistle and Memo, bro.
From
but guys, he's right. He's right. You need a team.
It's just because, bro, they have other footballers in their team that can do damage.
Name 5 good players on their team, bro.
I don't know about that.
Players. Good players. They're all most of them are good players. If we're talking about really good players, then I'll struggle to name 5 ago. I'm on your side of that one. But they have good players, bro.
He'll get. I'm
Bro.
not saying he's a crap player. Obviously, when he goes Real Madrid, it's different. But in this PSG side, he ain't carrying them all the way there, bro. They're just about to go past
Bro,
those.
this
No
PSG
one's
side is
talking
weak.
about.
But we all know.
For real, man.
But we all know how we all know
For real.
how football can be, right?
Look how similar this team is to your lot. There's a lot of young players, but they're young. They're even
Daniel's
younger than
edits are
Arsenal fans.
hilarious.
Bro, listen. As I said, there's certain players that if
Man's
coached
looking
right,
like he's from Pixar.
PSG can, just like Arsenal in a similar position to PSG. It's just that I think Arsenal are more structured and have a better manager, and into like they've got their for me. No team in this Champions League could roll Arsenal over in it. Arsenal don't need to get worried about getting rolled over. This isn't the old days. It's a different Arsenal now, isn't it? But the thing is, if Arsenal are fancying their chances after scumming their way past the Porto side, where I'm sorry, it's not that deep. We're overdoing it. They're not as good as everyone says they are. They're third in the league that we don't even class as barely in the top 5 European leagues. So let's not add that in.
Bro,
PSG
where were
also-
Chelsea when they won the Champions League?
Hold on.
I'm not.
Just as much as PSG have zero heritage, like Arsenal, they can scum their way. They're probably fancying a Dortmund. They might even fancy Arsenal because they got the least heritage. They might even.
This is what I mean. This
You
is
think
what I
PSG
mean.
are looking at Arsenal and going, good team,
I think
but
that's the
they
last
don't have any
thing
heritage just like us. Huh?
Most teams are looking at Arsenal thinking we can take them over 2 legs because
They're
of our
not looking at
European
Arsenal.
pedigree.
I'm not saying they're looking
I'm
at
not gonna
Arsenal.
lie,
like
you're
shit,
right.
because-
Most teams are looking at Arsenal, but guess what? They're silly and they're naive if they try to. They're arrogant if they think they're gonna come to the Emirates and get anything away
But
from
you know
home.
what,
You know what?
Bro, it's not because look how they could look at what Porto have done and gone. Well, actually, maybe it is possible to get something.
No,
on
no.
the
But a
Emirates.
lot of those teams don't play like Porto. Thank
doesn't-
God.
bro,
What
again-
Porto were
again-
doing was not football, bro.
Again, bro. If PSG were to sit pragmatic and stick Mbappe and Dembele,
Be a hard
going
night for
forward,
Arsenal. Be a hard night.
like on the counter, they're gonna have more than flipping Evan Nilsson and what's the other guy? That guy that had a stink and he missed the penalty.
Yeah,
What's
but
the
one
game
thing is
on?
not. They play.
Yeah,
They play-
it's gonna be, but Mbappe and Osman Dembele
so-
is clearly better than Gaetano and Evan Nilsson.
So
Let's
hold
not
on,
play
quick
around.
question,
He's been
quick
arse
question,
this
quick
season.
question.
What are we doing? He's been arse all season.
Quick question.
Who's
Wasn't
been Arsenal?
Mbappe on the team?
Really?
Wasn't Mbappe on the team when Newcastle beat them 4-1? He was, right? Mbappe
Yeah, he
played.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a group stage game.
But hear me out. So my thing is, all I'm saying is, we all know that on paper you can turn around and say this team is better or that team is better or this team is, all I'm saying is on any good given day, yo, it's a knockout competition. On any good given day, even Arsenal can capitulate. Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't the best thing for us to do is to go in the mindset that we are creating our heritage for the very first time, trying to win this. However we win it, I'm not even trying to sit here and say, oh, I'm better than this team or this team is better than me. Take one game at a time and just roll anybody I can roll over. Score as much as I can. That's the only approach you can go by.
That's why I'm not having the PSG disrespect, because you can
I
fully disrespect them.
You can talk about certain teams and what they've done, but hold on, guys. But I've seen Sheriff beat Real Madrid in the group stage. I've seen Tottenham dismantle
stages though.
Yeah, but I'm saying the example that they used is group. That's group. You gave me a group stage game. You gave me Newcastle versus PSG. I've seen Sheriff beat Real Madrid. I've seen Tottenham tear Real Madrid to shreds. A very good Real Madrid side, by the way. The Madrid side that beat us in the final. With Bale doing the flying Dutchman and all that the flying overhead kick. Doing all that stuff. So we're not going to use. We're not going to use group stage games to define anything. I'll agree with you and say anyone can beat anyone, but let's not have PSG disrespect, because if you take them lightly, people like Mbappe can flip a game on its head. Yeah. Even though they don't have heritage, they still gave Man City a game.
I hear it, but I'm not gonna lie. PSG have only got to a semi-final twice. Yeah, twice. Bro.
What have Arsenal done?
Arsenal have done roughly the same thing, though, Kaz.
I'm not saying that. So, and that note, on the quarterfinals, they always go out. English soil, they don't do great whatsoever. And it's not saying that Arsenal can't do. Obviously, they ain't go to a quarterfinal, bro. They just about got past around a 16, like for the first time in like 16 years or some crap like that, right? But I don't. The same way, I believe Arsenal are a much better outfit than PSG. Yeah, regardless, I'm not impressed with PSG's Champions League form this year. I'm not impressed with their league form this year. I believe they're cheap.
Impressed with Arsenal's Champions League form?
No. To be honest, in the group stage, they blasted everyone. To be fair, But they just
Has
went on the
context,
no,
though,
the whole
man.
point. No, the
Yeah,
whole
go
point
on.
is the way look. I know it doesn't sometimes. I don't believe PSG know how to scrap, and that's a fact. When it comes to dirty fighting and all that, like the way Porto did to and Arsenal did back to Porto, they don't have to do that. They don't. There's only a couple of them, man. That's the thing that their fans have been complaining about for a lot this season. Yeah, they don't have to do that. They play open football, the positional game, the Luis Enrique type, where they're still learning on the job type beat. They got a lot of young players, a lot of inconsistent. Canyon Lee, baller, Zaire baller, but they're still inconsistent. Up top, it's literally Mbappe FC. The ones up top, Kolo Muani and they suck. I'm not saying that Saka hasn't been anything great because we're only going to go off what the previous game. But if you had really and truly,
Saka was poor last night,
most
man.
people would probably go for Arsenal at that point because PSG, in any respect, I can't lie, I just don't think they're going past many teams in this quarterfinals, regardless of who it is. They struggled against Dortmund as well, like in this group stage. If we would have gone off of that this year, I just don't think they're that. I'll be honest. Barcelona give them a good game.
You want to know something, Cal? We cannot speak in any positive way because people are just going to criticize
No,
us.
but this is coming from a rival, and this is my neutral
No,
head.
no, I know that. But from my perspective, anytime I speak about Arsenal in a positive light in the Champions League, I just get thrown back. You didn't win it. You've never won it. You don't have the heritage. You don't have this. And it's like, at what point will the illogical conversations leave, and can we have a serious conversation about football? Because if you want to talk about experience, if you want to talk about previous games like 10-2, can I bring up the fact that we never lost to Real Madrid? Is that something? No, because it's not relevant to today's game. So I think we're going to just look at it face value. If my 11 goes up against majority of these teams' 11s, I'm confident. And I don't think that's arrogance. I just think that's based on.
You're allowed to be. You're allowed to be.
I just think that's based on what we've been seeing for the last couple of years.
But no one's throwing anything back. Kaz is just telling me that PSG are rubbish, and I'm saying,
no. 1 second. I'm not talking about you guys here. I'm talking about the wider public that just want to put down Arsenal still. Like, you've seen what we did against Porto. We struggled, yes, but we got through. Who's to say the next tie is not going to be much easier? Maybe we get a team that plays more in our in a way that benefits our style.
Favors us. Yeah. And another stat that you need to look at. We haven't considered a goal. Arsenal hasn't considered a goal in the Champions League at home at the Emirates.
We have the least goals conceded in the competition.
I'm even just saying, like, I don't even want to look at the whole competition as in the least goals. Like, the Emirates, so far so good in the Champions League, and for a team that is just coming back to the Champions League after many years, I'd have expected that at least even at home, somebody would have scored a goal at least against us. But that tells about how good our defense is so far. We may not have faced the elite of the elite. Now we're going to get tested. We're in the round of 8. We're going to get tested. We're going to see what our home form is going to be and what our away form is going to be. And the thing is, with knockout competition,
I think are both not. One thing I've got to take into consideration. I've not heard really many gooners speak about this. What is a big positive right now is that Tomiyasu's back as well. Partey's back, and we're only going to get stronger. Timber, I'm hoping that Timber's going to be back for the City game at the end of the month.
2 weeks
at the Etihad. So it's getting to a point where if we could have everyone strong, like within that pause, if we could have everyone kind of back for that game anyway, like for when it hits the knockout stages and obviously that game at the end of the month, it will lead us well going into the Champions League quarterfinals with whoever we face. But because it's one of those games where I can't lie, if we was to draw PSG over 2 legs, this is why, Kaz, when you're saying you think we'd wipe the floor with PSG,
I didn't say wipe the floor. You beat them.
We beat them. But I think the way how they play would suit us, but I think the way how they also play could also go against the way how we play as well, because I think
Ryan,
it all depends on.
Sorry, Ryan,
we got to beat them, but I hear you. But it's what worries me is Arteta's lack of in-game management at times, and there's certain things. The Porto game yesterday,
his in-game management was quite good. I mean, Jesus,
his in-game management yesterday.
It's Trossard. Hold on one second. It's one of those ones. Trossard for the first 15 to 20 minutes was having a stinker until he scored that goal. And for me, I would have brought on. I'm surprised he didn't bring on someone like Fabio Vieira yesterday, who's played in the Portuguese league, played for Porto, and knows a little bit how their style is. But he brought on Eddie Nketiah, and for me, listen, we got to sell Eddie Nketiah in the summer, man. I've washed my hands.
Okay, Ryan.
I think Zinchenko was poor.
Ryan,
KBO was
That's
having an
another one we
amazing
need to
game.
spell as well, though.
You have to look at things in context,
Zinchenko
though.
was
Now,
poor
listen, you have to look
yesterday,
at things in context, right? You're talking about game management. They've studied Porto, and they know Porto can take you to the wire, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a professional manager with a team of people around him. They've studied Porto, and they know Porto can take you to the wire. And he's making changes at a certain time because certain legs are getting tired, and you need a bit more power to make them run.
Yeah.
Eddie's job was not to come in and score any goal yesterday.
Why would you bring on?
Listen. No, listen.
Why
I know
would
he's a
you bring on
striker. What I'm
Reece
saying
Nelson
is, hear me out. If Eddie gets a chance, an open chance that he could score, that Eddie could score, Eddie would score it. What I'm saying is, you needed fresh legs towards the end of that game. If you saw what Porto was doing, we needed fresh legs to come in, and you didn't need a Fabio Vieira that could get bullied, because they will still bully Vieira off the ball. Yeah, he's very technical, but he'll get bullied physically. Eddie is harder to bully physically. So you needed that kind of pace and power at the time to run it out to the end.
We were chasing a goal.
Bring on Reece Nelson then?
One second, Ryan, we
We
were chasing a goal. He went for the more attacking options than bringing on a Thomas Partey or somebody else. And Zinchenko, who was a positive attacking player, actually made us worse. So you know what? Some of his changes yesterday were not good, but we got through. That's all that really matters. We grinded it out.
I mean, this perfection thing that most of Arsenal fans want, like the general wide Arsenal fans, like, Arsenal has to play perfect football. Arteta has to get in-game management right all the time. The other team is making changes on you during the game. So you might be playing well and they swap somebody and that person makes a whole total difference. And you have to then swap your strategy around right there, real time during the game. So, hey, let's cut them.
Mate, you know what? It's a good debate. And when it hits April, we'll know more anyways. Friday, we'll do another stream. You know what? Friday, when the draw happens, if you lot all around, we'll have the same panel again and we'll talk about it again. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll see what's there.
Just make sure if you might get PSG, I want to see 4-0 Arsenal.
Hey,
You're talking to a Gal and Dale there.
Listen,
name 5 good players.
Listen, I'm going to say. Let me say it's going to be easy.
I ain't one of them.
Let me say what I said again about. Let me say what I said again. Whoever we draw, I really honestly cannot decide the future. Whoever we draw is going to be tough. My thing is, it's a knockout competition. Do whatever it takes to literally. If you have to play 7 defenders against the team, Tomiyasu, Timba, and listen.
Go on. I'm listening. Go on.
Spain in 2010, at some point during the World Cup, played a midfield of what? I think it was 6-2. They literally, at a point during the World Cup, and they got to the what? So please, whatever you need to do, I don't care. If you need to play six defenders and 3 midfielders and 1 guy alone up front, so that nobody scores and we get through on penalties, do it. This idea in a knockout tournament that, we have to play stylish and we have to go this way. And I don't care about the optical. Look, those things don't matter. It doesn't matter.
I can't lie. The only one to date, really, I can think of that smashed everyone to the final was literally last year, Man City. They smashed everyone. Let me do these. Emmanuel, was Mbappe not in the squad when they lost 4-0 to Newcastle, which we was talking about? Big up, Emmanuel. Sorry.
He was.
Yeah. Donny, they got beat by Fulham, Newcastle, Villa, Porto, drew with Chelsea and Liverpool. The fact they have a lot more to play, i.e. Spurs, United, etc., is not a good thing. I mean, don't include United, respectfully. I also could be a problem. I also could be a problem for us too. City beat these teams. You're not in the competition. Respectfully. JM as well says Lens, Sevilla, Lons, PSV, Porto. What a test. Scary. Is what he's saying. He's undermining it. I can admit the group stage was a bit light. Curtis London says Eddie gotta go. Zinchenko gotta go, and Ramsdale's gotta go. Probably talk about the summer. They probably like the candidates. And then Donny said, did they just get an easier tie in the quarters? Champions League, OMG, easier tie in the quarters. Did they just say easier tie in the quarters? I mean, you would want the easiest tie as possible. No. I don't know. But yeah, look, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Again, second time we're asking now, obviously, for the whole stream being now on a few minutes, nearly on a 300 mark, which would be much appreciated. But yeah, look, a different kind of topic, but another obviously new panel and stuff. Go over to Gal's channel as this ends. Just click play now. I know a lot of you have some of you can't stand a Gal, some of you love a Gal. It is what it is. You can't please everyone, but a Gal's a good guy, man. Go over there and smash a like. He gives you good content. Entertains, it gets you lot talking at the end of the day. So do go over there. Big up Big Six Bands. Nearly on the 9K road, by the way, guys. And everyone's
Big up, bro.
channels in the description and in the pinned. So you can find Deo and you can find a guy and you can find Monts as well. We might have 2 streams tomorrow, by the way. So obviously, Thursday maybe might do a midnight thing, kind of similar with a Liverpool panel, depending. It just depends, really. But we'll see. But other than that, we'll be back at 11:30 in the morning UK time. Big up yourselves. I appreciate it as well.